Brothers in the Trench, Strangers at the Gate. It's such a powerful title, right? It perfectly sets up the story we're about to get into. A story about two soldiers, a whole century apart, but connected by this unspoken struggle.
So right away, we're thrown into this little mystery. You've got an American soldier at an Australian ceremony. What's the connection there? It's not just a casual visit. There's something he sees, something he feels, a story he knows deep down, one that just jumps across oceans and time.
Okay, so let's dive into our first section here. A soldier's silent observation. We're basically seeing this whole thing through his eyes, an outsider looking in on one of a nation's most sacred traditions.
All right, so who are we talking about? He's a Latino U.S. soldier, and he's in Australia watching the ANZAC Day ceremony. Now, this isn't just him being a tourist, right? The real key, the why, is that in this incredibly solemn moment, he sees something. He sees a reflection of his own story. And it's kind of unsettling.
Okay, so how does he see this connection? Well, to understand that, we have to go back in time. That brings us to Section 2, United in Glory. We're talking about World War I, and a promise of equality that was literally forged in the trenches.
You see, during World War I, something really incredible happened for the Aboriginal ANZAC soldiers. For the first time, really, they were fighting shoulder to shoulder with white soldiers. In the middle of all that chaos, in the trenches, they were sharing smokes, telling stories, just surviving together. They won medals for being unbelievably brave, and the most important part, in combat, they were treated as equals.
And this one quote just says it all, doesn't it? In the trenches, in the fire, they call you brother. It's just this perfect, powerful example of how something as horrible as war can sometimes just erase the lines that usually keep people apart.
But what happens when the fighting stops? What happens when you go home? That's where things take a tragic turn. Section 3, Divided in Peace. This is where the story gets really, really painful.
Just look at the difference here. It's devastating. During the war, they were heroes. They were brothers. They were winning medals for their courage. But when they got back home, nothing. They were shunned, treated like strangers in the very country they just fought for. The same guys who were heroes on the battlefield couldn't even get a drink at a pub. They were denied rights, denied land, all because they were indigenous.
And this is the other half of that earlier thought. The glory of war is replaced by humiliation at home. But in humiliation, when the uniform comes off, you become the other. I mean, think about that. The uniform made them brothers, but without it, they were just the other. The very identity they were fighting for was now being used against them.
Okay, so let's jump back to the present day, back to our soldier watching the ceremony. This brings us to Section 4, History's Unsettling Echo. Why does this story from 100 years ago hit him so hard? What's the connection?
There's this incredibly powerful moment where he's looking at a memorial plaque, and when he sees his reflection, for just a second, it's not his face. It's the face of an Aboriginal ANZAC from 1918. It's this beautiful, haunting metaphor for shared struggle, a struggle that doesn't care about time or borders or anything else.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. We can call it the paradox of service. It's this bizarre, painful experience of being praised and valued for the uniform you wear, but then being devalued for the person you actually are underneath it, all because of your heritage.
All right, this is where the story really hits its emotional peak. Section 5, A Fight Never Won. We're about to see him perform this final, quiet, but incredibly powerful act of solidarity. So as the day is winding down, he goes up to the memorial. First, he pins a red poppy. That's for all the fallen soldiers, the traditional symbol of remembrance. But then, he adds a pin of the Aboriginal flag. He's honoring that forgotten history. And then, he does one more thing. He places a U.S. Latino heritage pin right there with them. It's his way of saying, I see you. Our struggles are connected. It's like he's building a bridge across 100 years of silence.
And this last quote just punches you in the gut. It's the core of this whole thing. They fought for a country that never fought for them.
So we've seen this one story, right? One soldier looking back at another a century ago. But it makes you wonder, doesn't it? It leaves you with this really big question. How many other uniforms in how many other countries are hiding a story just like this one?